Do you want to take this opportunity to apologise to Nigel Farage?
Well, if I'd done it deliberately, I'd be apologising, but because this was a mistake, I think the important thing is that I point out it's a mistake, that I also make sure that I condemn political violence, and also, crucially, I make a commitment to be better on my social media.
OK. Do you want to apologise then or not?
No, the reason for that is because Nigel Farage, when I posted this, or when the person posted it, it got less than 1,000 likes. Nigel Farage then took it, cropped it, so it made it look like I posted it, which I think was fundamentally dishonest. It's now had 3.2 million views. So actually, this whole conversation had...
Originals, I'm Emily Carver. Please do give this video a like and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. And do leave a comment. Let me know what you think.
...has been seen more because Nigel Farage, the Yusuf, and I think Richard Tice posted it. So I'm accepting my responsibility in that I shouldn't have accepted that collaboration. I'm accepting that we all need to condemn political violence. But I also think the reporting to the police, the ramping up of the language to say this is incitement to murder me, feels like that's also putting me in a dangerous spot.
Police continue to look into reports about a social media post by the Green Party leader, Zach Polanski. Reform UK reported Mr Polanski to the police after he shared this on Instagram. Several images, which included a photo of a man wearing a T-shirt with a picture of a guillotine below the words, "We're only making plans for Nigel." Reform's Nigel Farage has said, "If I was to post anything as insightful, then I would expect to be arrested, and so should Polanski." Well, Mr Polanski is here. Good evening to you.
Good evening, Victoria.
Have the police been in touch yet?
No, they haven't.
Would you expect them to be? Do you expect them to be?
It feels quite surreal to be having this conversation because I think, first of all, it's important to establish the facts. This was not my post. It was a collaboration from a photographer. It had 20 images and I just didn't look carefully enough and I accepted it. As soon as I was aware of what happened, I unaccepted it and took it down. I think it would be odd for the police to speak to me about that because I think it's quite obvious that I've not done anything wrong other than making an inadvertent mistake. That being said, if the police do want to talk to me, of course, I'm very happy to cooperate.
OK. Did you not read the post properly then?
No.
Why not?
It was from a party and I accepted 9 collaborations from that party. Now, I accept as a leader of a political party, I have a responsibility for what I post. And to give you an example, if I go to a protest, I read every sign in a collaboration before I post it because I don't want to have situations like this. This was actually collaborations from a party on Sunday night. And you don't generally expect a party to have things that are contentious. So I did flick through it, but I admit I didn't pay enough attention to the T-shirt. As soon as I saw it, I was horrified. It's important to say I condemn all political violence. I condemn violent imagery. I condemn violent metaphors. I do my best to avoid them in my day-to-day speech. So I think the idea that I would click this knowing what I was doing, I think most people just know that isn't true. This was a mistake, and I'm sure... So
let's just look at this picture then. Any second now. You did not see the T-shirt with the drawing of the guillotine with the words.
It was the 5th image in 20, and so what I was seeing was people partying, flicking through. The man had a colourful hat on, like a rainbow hat. I remember seeing that and just carried on flicking through. I didn't even know this was a song lyric from XTC. Didn't read the T-shirt. That was a mistake, I accept that. But it's an inadvertent mistake. And so I think the amount that it's been reported, particularly by press that are owned by billionaires who often attack me, I talk a lot...
Come on.
Well, no.
Come on. Any leader of a political party in this country who shares a post like that is going to have reports and stories and conversations about them. You know that.
Well, can I come back on that? So in May, I experienced lots of threats, including today, by the way, I experienced a death threat. But in May, a Nazi who was near a Reform banner threw a salute at me and was arrested. No one ever spoke about it. No one ever reported it. And it does feel this is a legitimate conversation to be having. That's why I've come here tonight to have the conversation.
But you are also complaining about it being reported.
I'm complaining about the disproportionality of, I think Zia Yusuf said, if I wasn't arrested by this time tomorrow, then it's open season on all MPs. I think that's clearly hyperbole.
Well, let me put this to you. Nigel Farage says he has had 597 death threats since February. Reform UK's Zia Yusuf said the post was incitement to murder.
So I think there's 2 things there, and 2 things can be true at the same time. It's totally unacceptable for Nigel Farage to receive a single death threat, so I condemn any incitement towards him or any violence towards him, no matter how much I disagree with his political views or anyone else. everyone in the political sphere has the right to express their views. At the same time, the idea that's incitement to murder, when it wasn't my photograph, it's not my T-shirt. I accepted a collaboration post and unaccepted it the moment I read the T-shirt.
Yeah, but you've also told me that you accept, as a leader of a political party, responsibility for what you share on social media. And you have also said this was a mistake.
Yes.
And that you didn't read it properly. Do you want to take this opportunity to apologise to Nigel Farage?
Well, if I'd done it deliberately, I'd be apologising. But because this was a mistake, I think the important thing is that I point out it's a mistake, that I also make sure that I condemn political violence. And also, crucially, I make a commitment to be better on my social media.
OK. Do you want to apologise then or not?
No. The reason for that is because Nigel Farage, when I posted this, or when the person posted it, it got less than 1,000 likes. Nigel Farage then took it, cropped it, so it made it look like I posted it, which I think was fundamentally dishonest. It's now had 3.2 million views. So actually, this whole conversation has been seen more because Nigel Farage, Lee Youssef, and I think Richard Tice.
The meteoric rise and sudden collapse of Zach Polanski and what it means for Andy Burnham. What goes up must come down. That's not just a law of physics, it's an iron law of British politics. And right now, nobody is learning that lesson harder than Green Party leader Zach Polanski. Before we get into it, if you're new here, this is Britain Underneath, and we look at what's really happening beneath the surface of Westminster. If that sounds like your kind of channel, hit subscribe now, because it genuinely helps this channel grow, and you won't want to miss what's coming later in this video. Alright, let's dive in. Just a year ago, almost nobody outside the political bubble could tell you who led the Green Party. Then, out of nowhere, Zach Polanski swept to the leadership in September 2025 with a staggering 84% of the vote. Almost overnight, this previously obscure politician became one of the most talked about figures in British politics. And for a while, it looked unstoppable. But his rapid rise and his equally rapid fall should be sending a very clear warning to Labour's new golden boy, Andy Burnham. Let's talk about the numbers first, because they tell a story all on their own. When Polanski took charge, the Green Party's membership more than tripled, jumping from 68,000 members to over 230,000 in a remarkably short space of time. If that pattern feels familiar, it's because we've seen it before. When Jeremy Corbyn became Labour leader, the same thing happened. A charismatic outsider figure came in, and suddenly the party's membership exploded, with people desperate for a new political hero. Call it the search for the next political messiah. It's a recurring pattern on the British left, and it happens like clockwork. Before we go further, remember to subscribe to Britain Underneath if you want more breakdowns like this one. It really does make a difference to the channel, so if you haven't already, now's a good time. Now here's where it gets interesting. Polanski built his entire political brand on being provocative, unfiltered, and endlessly online. He's been described by critics as terminally online, spending huge amounts of time engaging directly with supporters and critics alike on social media. And for a while, that approach worked beautifully for him. Social media built his profile from nothing into a genuine national talking point. But here's the problem with living by the algorithm. Eventually, the algorithm turns on you. His first real stumble came earlier this year, when he made comments criticising unarmed police officers who had put themselves in harm's way during the Golders Green terror attack. It was a moment that cost him a great deal of goodwill, particularly among more moderate voters who had been quietly warming to him. And now he's found himself in even hotter water. Polanski shared an image online that many interpreted as making light of violence toward a prominent right-wing political figure, a post that included deeply inflammatory imagery referencing a guillotine. Reform UK swiftly accused him of encouraging violence against their leader. Polanski quietly deleted the post, but notably, he never apologised. If anything, he doubled down. going on to engage with online posts that drew comparisons between his political rivals and historical fascist figures, comparisons that most reasonable people would consider well beyond the line of legitimate political debate. This is worth pausing on for a second, because it speaks to something bigger happening in British politics right now. There's a troubling pattern where public figures on the extremes of any political stripe increasingly treat provocation and outrage as a substitute for actual argument. It doesn't end well for anyone who plays that game for too long. Just look at what happened to Russell Brand, the once beloved television personality turned self-styled left-wing rabble-rouser. The liberal establishment fell head over heels for him for a while too, right up until the moment they didn't. The Corbyn phenomenon itself peaked years ago and has been in steady decline ever since. Take a breath for a second, because this next part matters. If you're finding this kind of analysis useful, this is exactly the sort of content Britain Underneath is built around. So if you're not subscribed yet, now's the perfect moment to fix that. Here's the deeper issue for Polanski, though. It's not just about the controversies. It's about timing. Because right as his star is fading, the British left has found itself a brand new political darling, Andy Burnham. And here's a strange little detail that connects the two men. Polanski secured his Green Party leadership with just over 20,000 votes from party members. Burnham, meanwhile, recently won a by-election with roughly 24,000 votes. Add those two mandates together, and you get a combined total of under 45,000 people. Compare that to the more than 21 million people who voted in the last general election, and you start to see just how small these political bubbles really are, even when they generate enormous national headlines. Burnham, to his credit, is a far more seasoned political operator than Polanski. He's avoided many of the obvious pitfalls that have tripped up his rival, and his personal popularity has been climbing steadily. It's easy to see why people are drawn to him. He's polished, experienced, and knows exactly how to play the media game. But popularity in politics is a fickle, fleeting thing. Ask Keir Starmer, whose own ratings soared dramatically before crashing back down to earth. Zach Polanski is discovering that same painful truth right now, in real time. So what's the actual lesson here? It's simple, really, and it's one that every rising political star in this country would do well to remember. Explosive popularity built on charisma, controversy, and online buzz can lift you up incredibly fast, but it rarely lasts. Eventually, the scrutiny catches up, the mistakes pile up, and the same public that once adored you starts asking harder questions. If Andy Burnham is smart, and by most accounts he is, he'll be watching Polanski's collapse very closely right now. Because in British politics, they almost always come crashing down in the end. The only real question is when. Stay informed, stay sharp, and if you enjoyed this breakdown, please do stick around till the end of these videos, because there's always more going on beneath the surface than the headlines let on. If you want more of this kind of straight-talking analysis on UK politics, hit that subscribe button right now. It genuinely helps this channel keep going, and it means you'll never miss the next story. This is Britain Underneath, and we'll see you in the next one.